Good day, my fellow MBA students. I'm Sarah Jane Santa Ana, and I will be continuing the report for Chapter 14, Project Management. So the next topic is Real Options Pricing Models, or ROPMs. ROPMs value information systems projects, whereby an initial investment in technology creates the right, but not the obligation, to benefit from further development and deployment of the technology, so long as management retains the flexibility to cancel, defer, restart, or expand the project. As we all know, investing in systems are more likely to be of high value, and companies doesn't know if the investment will be profitable in the future, so it is very risky. With the help of ROPMs, the company can reduce or minimize the amount to be spent by availing first the tiny pilot projects or prototype of a system, so they can test the waters before making a larger investment in an IT project and learn more about the risk involved. Next is limitations of financial models. Financial modeling is a representation in numbers of a company's operations in the past, present, and the forecasted future. Usually, financial models in IT projects or information system projects lacks information or ignore information about social and organizational aspects. These are expenses on end user training, effects on users' productivity, time to spend in managing system upgrades or changes, and benefits of quicker choices. So it is better for a company to consider the costs and effects of these aspects when financing an IT project. Next is managing project risk. Information system hazards and risk assessment have already been covered in another chapter. In this chapter, we will outline the particular hazards to information systems projects and demonstrate how to manage them successfully. So managing project risk is the process of identifying, analyzing, and responding to any risk that arises over the life cycle of a project to help the project remain on track and meet its goal. Managing project risks have dimensions. So these are usually the areas that are risk prone in IT projects. First is the project size. This includes the amount of money spent, size of the implementation team, amount of time allotted for implementation, number of organizational units impacted. Next is project structure. A project structure provides the framework within which the development effort will be accomplished. Clear and basic project structure has lower risk than fluid, frequently changing needs, and difficult structure projects, which leads to end users' loss of interest. Next is experience with technology. Lack of technical skills increase the risk of failing the project. So these three dimensions should be taken care of and should be monitored when conducting or developing or investing in an IT project. Next is change management. Change management is the process, tools, and techniques used to manage the people side of change to achieve required business outcomes. Effective system may fail as a result of internal organizational shift that's usually brought about by modifications made to the IT systems of a company. This usually leads to disagreements and resistance. Change management in an IT project basically means how the developer or how the project team manages the changes in the system that they have been developed, and how they can communicate it to the end users. Change management has three aspects to consider. Number one, the concept of implementation. Number two, the role of end users. And number three, management support and commitment. The concept of implementation means in order to handle organizational change, associated with the introduction of new information systems, it is important to look at the implementation process. Implementation gears the organizational operations toward a new system's adoption, management, and routinization. In order to properly communicate the changes on the system, it is very crucial that the development team or the project team monitors the implementation. To do that, the project team should assign a change agent. In this case, system analyst has that role. They are in charge of ensuring that all parties embrace the changes brought about by a new system and is the driving force behind the entire change process. Basically, system analyst or change agent bridge the communication gap between the developers and the end users because developers are more technical and end users cannot understand all the technicalities in a project. So system analysts converts or interpret those changes from technical way into a simplest term so that end users will embrace or accept the changes that have been made on the system. Next is the role of end users. The role of business end users in developing a system solution is to identify the business requirements and needs. They are the ones who understand the business processes and workflows and can provide valuable insights into how the system should function. In any system development, the project team or the development team should always be reminded that end users has a vital role in their development. So whenever there are changes on the system, end users must be clearly communicated and must be consulted if those changes may affect or they may violate any business processes along the way. As I've said earlier, there is communication gap between the users and the designers or the developers. This is one of the reasons why end users lost interest in participating with the development. As we can see on the left side, the user concerns are more of organizational side, while the designers or developers concerns are more on the technical side. Two teams or these two persons cannot meet in the middle, the system development will be gradually affected or may fail in the future. So that's why it is important to have a system analyst or the change agent to bridge the two. Next is management support and commitment. This guarantees that a systems project will obtain enough cash and resources to be effective. Managerial support is necessary for all organizational realignments, changes in work habits and processes, and implementation of new systems. It is also best and important that the management support the project development because first and foremost, they are the ones who will approve the budget. And of course, if the employees or the end user sees that the management participate in this project, they will also be inspired to participate and give the best inputs that they can have to contribute to the project. So in summary, poor implementation and change management techniques that failed to address employees' worries about system change have ruined numerous enterprise application and re-engineering initiatives. That is why high levels of user engagement and management support are important and often advantageous for system development and implementation. Next topic is controlling risk factors. By foreseeing implementation issues and using suitable remedial measures, system success can be increased. Here's some tools and strategies to control risk factors of IT systems. So when developing a system, it is important that the project team is seeing the future or foreseeing any risk that may happen during or after the implementation of the project. So these are the three tools or strategies to control risk factors. First is managing technical complexity. Next is formal planning and control tools. And then lastly, increasing user involvement and overcoming user resistance. So first, managing technical complexity. Internal integration solutions are useful for projects that require users to understand difficult or sophisticated technologies. The ability to effectively manage project's technological complexity will determine how successful it will be. So to handle this, the company should hire a project manager that possesses extensive administrative and technical skills. They must be able to foresee issues and foster effective working relationships within a team that is predominantly technical. Of course, in an IT project, most of the employees or the team members are on the technical side. They are the developers, and then we have the system analysts, and then the quality assurance and all. So the company must hire a project manager that is not just highly technical, same as his members, but also is expert or extensive in administrative management. So he will balance the technical side and the administrative side or the managing side of the project. This will help the project to be more successful. Next is formal planning and control tools. Effective use of formal planning tools and formal control tools for recording and observing project plans is advantageous for large projects. IT projects usually uses two tools, the Gantt chart and the PERT chart. So in IT projects, they usually use monitoring tools or control tools to see and to observe if the project is going on the schedule and on the right track. So the first chart is the Gantt chart. This displays the start and finish dates of project activities, but they don't highlight task relationship. Typically answers the what's and when's, but not the how's of the project. So basically, the Gantt chart is the timeline of activities of an IT project. So as you can see on the example, this is the Gantt chart, and we have the list of tasks to be done during the project. So basically, this is the basic, the general tasks that should be done on a project. And on the right side is the timeline of how, of when this task should be accomplished. Next is the program evaluation and review technique, or the PERT chart. It is sometimes called a PERT diagram. It is a project management tool used to schedule, organize, and coordinate tasks within a project. It provides a graphical representation of a project's timeline that enables project managers to break down each individual task in the project analysis. So PERT chart is basically a visual representation of project tasks and their connections. As you can see, the task name is written above each boxes. These are the specific tasks. If we can go back to the Gantt chart, you can find the task in the PERT chart here on the design and implementation part. So the PERT chart breaks down the tasks in the Gantt chart, and they will show the connection of each tasks. So this is a sample of PERT chart in the web development. So the first task is design the website. Basically, this is where the flow chart formulation, the process formulation happens, or the drafting of the outlining the flow of the system. So the task will last for 12 days. And the responsible team is the design team and the programming team. So there are two overlapping tasks connected on designing a website. This is the selecting a hosting service and preparing artwork. So these two tasks can be done on the same timeline. So the selecting hosting service will be done by the programming team, and the preparing artwork or the user interface in the website will be done by the design team. Hosting service lasts for 3 days and preparing for artwork will last for 15 days. And then the third task also can be done together with those two, which is the program, the website. This will last for 25 days. This is where the coding begins on the web development. Then after that, they can test the website for 3 days. Maybe on that span of 3 days, revisions will be also accomplished. And after testing the website, the project team can now deploy the system, which will last for 2 days. Deploying the system will now be accessed by any person across the globe. Lastly, increasing user involvement and overcoming user resistance. Users must be fully involved at every level of projects. They must be inspired to support one of the numerous potential design choices, become active members of the project team, and users must feel that their comments and recommendations are heard. This is to prevent resistance and disagreements upon implementation of the system. Again, the importance of user involvement has been reiterated in controlling this activity. That is why it is very important to remember that end users are vital in IT project management. Now that we have done addressing or using the tools and strategies for controlling the risk factors in project management, we will proceed to designing for the organization. Information systems project must specifically address the ways in which the organization will change when the new system is implemented. An organization must consider and look closely with the proposed socio-technical design before finalizing the project development plan. So when a project or an IT project will be developed in a company, designing is not only be done technically. It's not only on the technical side. Designing is also should be done on the organizational side. So that's what we call socio-technical design, where it tackles both of those areas. So a company must consider this list to be able to define a perfect socio-technical design for their IT project. So first is ergonomics, or the system tools and equipments, work environment, and how the users interact with the system. Next is modifications in job duties, organizational structures, and power dynamics. Next is safety and health. Next is adherence to governmental regulations. Next is norms and performance evaluation. And lastly, process for resolving system complaints. So the best socio-technical design that addresses all these factors, which is aligned on the company's goals, should be selected before accepting or developing the system. Lastly, we have project management software tools. So as we can see, to the entire chapter 14, project management is a very tedious work or tedious job, and should be focused and monitored closely. So IT companies have developed a project management tool to help developers and project managers monitor the progress of their project and help them on the administrative side of the project. So these tools are a set of software designed to help project teams to plan a project, track and manage the projects to achieve the defined project goals within the time. It also helps team members to collaborate effectively and accelerate the projects to meet the specified constraint. So these tools basically automates the administrative side of the project management. As an example, the Gantt chart and the PER chart on these software tools is already automated. Project managers can already spend another time or another attention focus on the technical aspects of the project and leave it to these software tools, leave the administrative monitoring to these software tools. So these are Monday.com, Backlog, KidIn, and the most popular is the Microsoft Office Project 2010. So if your company is planning to develop a system, all of the chapter 14 topics will be helpful to them, and especially this project management software tools. So that's all for the chapter 14. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something about the lesson.